What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I love you all very much. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in today. Happy new moon in Libra. What a big time new moon energy this is. I mean, conjunct Mars, quincunx, Uranus and Taurus. It's really making a trine to the midpoint of Jupiter and Saturn, opposition to Chiron. Venus's final day in Scorpio at those latter degrees, 28 and 29. So many Venusian qualities to a very Venusian new moon, a kickoff here of Libra season in the full energy, in the full form, and it's intense with the conjunction with Mars. So not only is this a very important time for relating to other people, but we have to remember too the other Venusian quality of life, which is the relationship to self, your capacity to create, to manifest what your unique and individuated value systems are, and are you getting that back in the reflection of others, and are you letting that in? There's a need to really find out like what is the bottom line when it comes to relationships. So this is a big lunation cycle. Honestly, could be some of the biggest relationship stuff that ever takes place in our lives. Kind of crazy, but with Pluto coming direct today as well, another huge transit today. I mean, today's just jam-packed in the astrology, and this Pluto is no joke. This is taking us to a whole new place we've never been before, as is every time Pluto comes direct, but this one's extremely special astrologically because of the return of the United States Pluto at 27 and going to 28 degrees, and just where that was at in history with a revolution, declaring independence, so many aspects that were about freedom. And where are we going with that, and how are we going to relate our independent freedoms and nature and all the work that we have done and acquired throughout the first 6 signs of the zodiac as we wrapped up that final 6th sign with the lunation of Virgo, of course. We've seen and done so much work, and this is where we have to take all that integration that we've put into ourselves and put it out, and hopefully get the reflection we're looking for in our personal lives. The world is going to be the world. We have a South Node in Sag. There's a lot of focus on world events right now and things that are going on, and we should be aware of all that, but I would say it's important, with so much air, so much Libra, that we bring it back to the Gemini aspect of the North Node and really focus on the relationships close to you, the partnerships, what you're building, what you're working towards with other people in your environment, your community, what's right in front of your face that's most important, and not get too sucked into the world, because who knows what kind of deception's going on there. And Pluto going direct, of course, is going to show us overreaches of power from, institutions and governments and places that, have that assumed power over yourself. And this is about finding the integrity and realizing your own individuated and personal power, and not giving up your sovereign human rights to attract in and live a really abundant life. So special times. Let's take a look at the chart. Wow, look at all this Libra. It's going to be about 4 a.m. I think it's like 4:01, 4:02. But yeah, whew, what a way to start off the day. I mean, it's so much cardinal energy. It's with Mars. The Sun and Mars are together. Gosh, there's so much we want to identify in with other people right now. Like, this is like the biggest time ever. This is where maybe relationships, if they're beautiful and balanced and harmonious and there's equal growth opportunities for both sides, I mean, this is relationships going to the next level of like that merger. And even Venus finishing up in Scorpio, I mean, this is where relationships can be absolutely rising up like the phoenix into the depth and the mission, and the power of the individual and the merger of the two. And then, for people that are single, this is about, I mean, this could be some of the most important people getting brought into our lives, honestly. You just never know. I mean, it could be all sorts of different kinds of partnerships. And there's going to be a strong desire with the Sun and Mars together to illuminate those connections and the relationships and how to find beauty and justice. So very important time. I think it's also important that, we do have that North Node in Gemini, and truth. Truth and conversation is so important with the people in our lives. And the only way to get true justice in life is to bring that truth, out in front of the judge, and you're the judge. So make sure you're bringing your truth, and make sure that, you're not getting bullshitted by people in your life too. Very important. It is quincunx Uranus exact. Of course, the last lunation in Virgo was trine Uranus exact at 14 degrees, and now we're here at 13. And 13 degrees is a Uranian degree. So not only do we get a weird quincunx to this Uranus, but wow, I mean, we're opening up all these, quantum level doors. I mean, it's like intergalactic, like interdimensional aspects of relating that we've probably never could have predicted. So this is where you still have to remember your personal sovereign values and rights, and liberties and the justice of your life to find that beauty and make sure that you're bringing that whole truth to the table when you're relating with people. It's going to help so much. So it's just definitely not a time at all throughout this lunation, or even from here on forward with Pluto coming direct today too. This is where we got to be and have that integrity within ourselves to be in our truth and to relate that and to, come to some sense of justice in our lives. And that does mean holding your line. That doesn't mean just give. There can be an over compulsion, if you will, to give too much. So make sure you're not giving more than you're getting back. It is a time of balance through extremes in completely unordinary and weird ways that we've likely never seen before, especially if you look out into the big picture in that South Node in Sag, which Venus is getting very close to. So that's kind of numbing. Venus in the South Node's numbing. It's almost like intoxicating, like, oh, everything's just fine. I believe this is fine. Well, what's your gut say? What's the truth say? Pay attention to that as we go through this. It is in opposition to Chiron. So we have to really be vulnerable, but at the same time, we have to accept the vulnerabilities in other people. And that comes back to the balance aspects of this, and realize all the work we've put into ourselves was for this time to relate to this world, to relate to our partners, to relate to people in our lives, and to communicate about that. It's very important. And the midpoint, of course, of Jupiter and Saturn, what is that? 4, 12, 16, 13. Yeah. 16 and then 8. Yeah, we're at the midpoint of Jupiter and Saturn, exact, pretty much. So definitely bringing up so much of the Aquarian energy too. And gosh, there's just like something big that we can all move for with people in our lives, and we want to be open to that and to that powerful connection, to that beautiful connection that we can have. But there's also something about saying don't sleep on things if you already know the connection isn't good, and you're just kind of saying, oh, it'll be just fine, I'll just let it play out. Got to give yourself the justice too, as well as creating some sort of win-win with that justice, and hopefully not bringing up too much anger. Mars in Libra can be, some heavy anger towards other people, so that people can be edgy when it comes to relating right now, if they're not identifying with themselves at a high level and paying attention to what those desires are, and if they are about, a sense of equality, or if they're just about the me aspect of things. So there is that. And then Mercury, of course, quincunx Neptune, it is pulling away from that, but that energy's here, and we're going to feel that for this lunation as well. So just a very interesting time trying to figure out things. Quincunx to Uranus, I think we have to really trust our gut. The intuition's going to help a lot, but we also don't want to just put the ideals out, if you will. Like, we also want to be factual with the North Node in Gemini, and I think this Mercury retrograde is going to help us figure a lot out when all is said and done about how we relate to the other. Aries, of course, is the self. Libra is the other. So how are we relating to the other in life, and how are we bringing our full authentic truth and self and expressing that in hopefully a way that creates and brings in balance? This is later on in the day. I think it's just fascinating to pull this up because this is when Pluto goes direct. It'll go direct at 11:28 a.m. on the west coast, so 2:28 p.m. on the east coast. Other times, of course, if you're in other places in the world, but most of my viewers are in North American territory. So yeah, wow, what a Pluto. Definitely talked about it. It's direct. This is going to be, this is probably the biggest station direct of Pluto we've ever seen. Of course, we get this every year, but not at these levels of Capricorn, at this tail end, the top of the mountain, if you will. And gosh, Where is the integrity of the United States going, and what does that mean for the world? The United States does hold the world reserve currency, so it's big. It's a big event for the whole world, really, because we could be seeing changes of whatever the power is financially. We do have Venus today at the tail end of Scorpio, coming to 29 degrees before coming into Sagittarius. Gotta trust your gut when it comes to the financials right now. I think that's super important. And then again, when it comes to relationships and other people, making sure you're absolutely have done your investigative work and that you're ready to rise up like the phoenix with hopefully at least the right partnerships that feel right. Yes, anything could change at any time, but does it feel like there's been the depth and the communication and the truth? And can you feel it deeper within you? And are you ready to go expand and explore on all that you did find with people, and especially within yourself too, so that you can attract this stuff in? It's definitely a time with so much Libra energy where you don't want to forget about yourself and what you're intuiting and what you're feeling and what you need and what you want to attract in as well, while figuring out how to merge and balance that out, of course, with others. The moon will come on top of Mercury today, and gosh, it's just more of that, like, we could be really rethinking a lot of our feelings with other people, especially with Mercury in retrograde, and the moon coming off that quincunx to Uranus with the new moon. Definitely, new moons usually bring a pretty like chill energy. Full moons are much more intense, and like there's a full light on our emotional landscape and what we've done throughout the lunation. This one's starting, and it is in cardinal. It's like gotta be pretty, open with how you're feeling would be very helpful, in my opinion. And the moon will also quincunx over to Neptune in the evening, and it'll get close to a trine over to Jupiter. So this definitely like blows up communication, blows up emotion. How do we be truthful and honest and delegate the life that we want to have with people? It's definitely a day where talks are probably going to want to be had. They could start off quick. This Libra season, this new moon, it could be like, okay, we need to relate on this level because this is where I'm at right now, and we got to find where we're at, when it comes to anybody else in your life. Libra is the other person, so not even just romantic stuff here, but like people, community. Who are you talking to? What do they think? Are you being truthful, honest? You laying it out there? You giving all your depth about what you value? Giving all your depth about what you want in your life? It's important. Today's a big day. Set the intention to be your most authentic self and true, so that you can attract in what's going to give you that return on your investment that you've been putting on yourself. Because this is where, again, I think we see within ourselves all the work we've been doing. And are we investing all of that work into something that's beautiful and balanced and harmonious in our life, or is it just kind of toxic? Venus at the end of Scorpio, like, this is kind of going to expose toxicity, and Pluto direct is definitely on a world scale going to start exposing a lot. Pluto's like a tick, like it's buried in there, and it's about to bring all of that, blood or whatever out. Kind of a gross analogy, and we're going to see that just kind of pop. Or get picked out by the people. Very interesting. We just don't want to be manipulating. We don't want to be manipulated. We got to be very truthful and honest, and bringing equal power into our life. And we don't want to let anything or institution or any government overstep their boundaries. And we're already starting to see that all the time. So this is where we got to really hold our line. We're taking these steps up. These next years here are just like the final peak of Capricorn, and it is steep at the top, so we don't want to give up. This is where we build so much character, and it's important. We came for these times, and this is where all that work we've done gets related to the world. And it's such a top heavy chart now. Even if you just look and cut the chart in half here, if this was rotated, it's just like lopsided, right? It's heavy energy on one side. So it in a time of trying to find balance, yeah, good luck. This is going to be it's a tall order, this Libra season, and finding that balance and justice. So we got this, though. We're ready for it, and we're here for it, and we're going to make the best of it, I believe, especially for all you guys. I know you guys who watch this channel with me all the time, you're right here with me. So we're all in this together, and yeah, happy new moon. let's go relate at the highest level that we can within our truth, and make sure that we're not getting duped in any fashion of our life right now, because we've done enough work on ourselves internally to know what will bring that beauty into our life. Card for the day is the Ace of Swords. Woo! I like that. There's the start of something new. Like we've all gotten the hint. We've all gotten the understanding more than we even might consciously know. That's what I kind of get from this, is like there's so much we know about ourselves now and what we really want and how to bring and manifest that beauty into our lives. This is a beautiful time to go and put that to work, start the journey and use that mental capacity of what you have learned about yourself consciously. Keep going in that direction. Why'd we get that card? Two of Pentacles. Oh, it's the Page of Pentacles. Woo! Good thing I looked at the screen. I didn't even really look at the card. Yeah, I think that we can be curious about the physical stuff too. Like, this is where I think we want to still be paying attention to money too. So don't just get caught up in, the aesthetic of things. Make sure you're getting to the bottom line with this Pluto coming direct here and starting to progress forward for what is really going on, and how can you bring in more into your life. And, you don't want to be too childish, I would say too. Like, use your mind. Use your mental discernment, your spiritual discernment to get the physical that you're looking for. And the overall for this is Judgment reversed. Gosh, it does feel that judgment vibe. And hey, look, this is where when God calls or blazes the trumpet, like, we got to answer that call, because we've gotten the messages, we've gotten the hints, we've done the work. So, there's going to be plenty of signs that are thrown out about people or life or the government or all these different aspects of our reality. And this is where you got to listen to that call to make the best choice to bring beauty into your life. And you don't want to sleep on that call and act like you aren't ready to pierce through the veil of what's going to make your life beautiful. So, powerful time to relate. Also, make sure that you're trusting what's going to bring beauty into your life and merging that and finding balance throughout this lunation, and of course today. Love you all very much. Powerful times. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.